Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into a specific set of materials.
Right.
It's a detailed investor overview for a company called Bridge AI. It's laid out as a Q&A, 64 questions answered. So our mission basically is to unpack all of that, figure out what Bridge AI actually is, what problem they think they're solving, their approach, and what makes them special, according strictly to these sources.
And these Q&As, they're often gold mines for this kind of thing because investors push hard, right? They want clarity on the market, the product, the team, the money side. So it forces the company to lay it all out pretty clearly, gives you a structured view.
Absolutely, like getting the cheat sheet, but with all the backup. So, okay, let's start unpacking big picture first. What's the core problem Bridge AI is tackling based on what's in these documents?
Well, the sources paint a pretty clear picture. It's about the challenges teachers are facing. A lot of it boils down to time, just the sheer amount of time and energy getting sucked into lesson planning manually.
How much time are we actually talking about here?
The claim in the source is over 30 hours per month.
30 hours. Wow. That's like adding a whole other part-time job just for prep.
Exactly. And it's not just the hours, it's the finding stuff. The sources talk about resource fragmentation. Teachers are apparently hunting across 15 or more websites.
15?
Yeah, just to pull together materials for one lesson.
Oh, man. That sounds incredibly inefficient, just bouncing all over the place.
It is. And that fragmentation, it leads to another issue they flag, quality inconsistency. The sources cite data. I think it was 68% of ESL teachers specifically aren't satisfied with the resources they find after all that searching.
So wait, they spend ages looking and then often end up with stuff that's not even that great.
That's the picture painted, yeah. And, predictably, this all feeds into burnout. Big issue in education.
Hugely.
The sources say 76% of ESL teachers report burnout, and they explicitly link a lot of that stress directly to this preparation workload. And for private tutors, there's that extra kicker. All that planning time, 30-plus hours a month, it's non-billable. Time they could be teaching, earning.
That makes total sense. I mean, anyone who's taught or even just, helped a kid with homework or plan something complicated, you can feel that frustration. Scattered info, variable quality. It sounds like Bridge AI is going after a really deep pain point here.
Seems like it.
So how do the sources say they fix this? What is the Bridge AI solution?
Okay, so Bridge AI is presented as fundamentally an AI-powered platform built specifically to automate and, they claim, significantly improve that whole lesson planning headache for teachers.
Right. But the sources emphasize it's not just any AI tool. They talk about this multi-neural pod platform strategy. What's that actually mean?
So think of neuropods as specialized AI modules or brains designed for different types of teaching.
Okay.
The source explains they're starting with one for ESL, English as a second language, but the core tech underneath, what they call a scalable AI architecture, is built so they can reuse a lot of it. They claim about 80% code reuse to efficiently create similar modules for elementary teachers, STEM teachers, special ed teachers.
Okay. So build the engine once, then adapt it with specialized parts for different subjects or needs.
Exactly.
And that connects to their phased market entry strategy, right? ESL first, then roll out the others over time.
That's the plan outlined.
Yeah.
And the sources dig into some product specifics, too. They mention a 5-agent AI architecture.
5 agents, like a team of AIs.
Kind of. You can imagine specialized AI bits working together. Maybe one drafts content, one structures it pedagogically, one handles personalization. They collaborate to build the lesson.
Interesting.
And for ESL, crucially, they've trained specific NLP models.
NLP.
Natural language processing. Basically, teaching computers to understand and generate human language.
Gotcha.
For ESL, this means training the AI specifically on test-solve frameworks.
So established methods for teaching English. It's not just generic AI text.
Exactly. It has pedagogical grounding. And they mention other features, too, like an integrated marketplace, where teachers could maybe sell content they create using the AI.
Oh, interesting. Monetization for teachers, too.
Yeah. And even cultural context analysis to make lessons relevant internationally.
The timing they mentioned seems key, too. They argue AI is now, education ready.
Right.
And that lines up with the global teacher shortage, where efficiency is vital. Plus this big jump in digital adoption by teachers post-pandemic, they cite 72%.
Yeah, they position themselves right at that intersection. Tech maturity, market need, and teachers being more comfortable with digital tools.
So who are they targeting first?
Sure.
Which teachers specifically? And what's the pitch? Why would these teachers pay for this?
Sources are quite specific here. Initial focus, 70% independent ESL teachers, the other 30%. Small language schools, like 2 to 10 teachers.
Okay.
Geographically, starting in Southeast Asia, expansion to larger chains comes later.
Independent teachers, small schools, Southeast Asia. Okay, and the reason they'd pay? The sources seem to have some validation from testing.
They do. The big one is time savings, validated in their alpha testing. Teachers saved, on average, 7.8 hours per week.
7.8 hours a week. That's huge. If they were spending 30 a month,
Yeah.
wow, that hits the main pain point directly.
Absolutely. And it's not just time. They claim the quality of the AI lessons is high, 89% user satisfaction in that alpha test.
Okay.
For those independent teachers saving nearly 8 hours a week, that translates directly. They can take on more students. The sources suggest a potential income boost of up to 25%.
More time, better quality, more income potential.
And less stress. They also cite a 40% decrease in reported stress levels among users. That's massive for burnout.
Yeah, those are strong selling points. Did the sources give any specific examples, like real use cases?
Yeah, a few. An independent tutor creating a business English lesson took them 5 minutes with Bridge AI versus 2 hours before. An 8-teacher language school cutting its total prep time by 60%. And a corporate trainer using it for industry-specific ESL content for big clients, showing its flexibility.
Okay, that helps visualize it. Which brings us to the market opportunity. How big could this be? The overview must have numbers.
Oh, yeah. It positions the overall market as pretty substantial. The global English language learning market projected to grow from around $29.5 billion now to over $63.5 billion by 2031. That's a AGR, compound annual growth rate, of just over 10%.
So decent growth year on year.
Right. And the online part of ESL, where they're starting, is apparently growing even faster, 14.5% CAGR, digital shift boosting it.
And the number of potential customers.
Yeah.
The teachers themselves.
Huge numbers. The sources talk about 12 million ESL teachers globally as the total addressable market.
12 million.
Plus millions more in the U.S. alone across those other segments they plan to enter: elementary, STEM, special ed.
How did they arrive at these figures? Does the source explain their market sizing methodology?
They describe a kind of mixed approach. A bottom-up analysis, counting independent ESL teachers, checking against orgs like TESOL. They looked at spending data on existing platforms teachers use, like Teachers Pay Teachers, cross-referenced with regional associations, combined big market reports with their own surveys of ESL teachers in Southeast Asia.
Sounds like they did their homework.
Yeah.
So what are the specific TAM, SAM, and SOM figures they present? Total addressable market, serviceable, available, serviceable, obtainable?
Right. TAM is that big global number, $63.5 billion by 2031. SAM is the total market across all the teacher types they aim for eventually with that multi-vertical plan. And SO, the slice they realistically target near term, that's their year 3 goal, 35,000 teachers.
35,000 teachers.
Which in their aggressive forecast translates to $21.3 million in annual recurring revenue, ARR.
Okay, $21.3 million ARR by year 3. That's ambitious. And it ties directly back to that multi-neural pod expansion plan. How does that roll out? The timeline and revenue goals per segment.
Yeah, the sources lay out the phases clearly. Phase 1, first 12 months, purely ESL Neuropod. Target, $750 ARR.
Yep.
Phase 2, months 13-24, they add the elementary Neuropod. Cumulative target then jumps to $4 ARR across both.
Right.
Phase 3, months 25-30, STEM Neuropod comes online. Target, cumulative $15 ARR.
Even steeper.
And Phase 4, months 31-36, Special Ed Neuropod launches, reaching that final cumulative target of $21 3M ARR.
And the pricing differs for these segments.
It does. Source mentions ESL and elementary teachers are targeted at $30-$60 per month. But STEM is higher, $75 a month, and special ed is highest at $95 a month.
Why the difference?
They justify it based on perceived value and complexity, especially things like compliance needs in special education, driving up the value, and presumably the product requirements.
What's interesting from the sources is how they frame this multi-vertical thing, not just as adding products, but as a core strategic advantage.
Exactly. They pitch it as a key differentiator, maybe even a barrier to competitors. Because of that scalable AI architecture, they get shared development costs, not building from zero each time.
Efficiency.
Right. And there are cross-selling opportunities, like an elementary teacher might need help with English language learners linking back to the ESL module.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
Plus, they can build deep expertise in those higher value niches, STEM safety rules, special ed compliance, stuff generic AI or broad platforms might miss.
It's a compelling vision. But
Yeah.
is there any proof it's working now? Any early traction mentioned in the sources?
Yeah, they highlight several points. A big one is a waitlist. Over 1,200 teachers signed up with zero paid marketing spend.
Wow, 1,200 organically before launch. That's a strong signal.
It suggests real demand. They also lean heavily on their alpha program results. 35 active users
Okay.
reportedly showed 94% retention over 8 weeks and generated over 2,200 lessons in that time. High engagement, high retention.
Yeah, that points to users finding real value quickly.
Definitely. Other points. Surveys showing high payment intent, 83% picked a paid plan option. They validated an ARPU, average revenue per user, of $42 a month in early tests.
Okay.
And the sources note their target teachers already spend money on tools about $420 a year, so there's an existing budget for solutions like this.
Did they mention satisfaction scores?
Yep. 89% satisfaction with the AI lesson quality, that 94% retention in alpha, and they cite an NPS net promoter score of 67.
NPS of 67. That's really good. Suggests users are likely to recommend it. Potential for viral growth there.
Right. They also mention early partnerships, 2 language schools signed, 3 pilots starting, and a nod to a content partnership with the British Council.
Impressive early signs.
And reinforcing that organic growth, 67% of their waitlist signups apparently came from referrals. Word of mouth is working.
Okay, shifting gears slightly to the business model. How do they actually make money, and what do the financials look like in this overview?
It's subscription-based. That year 3, $21.3 million ARR target, it's broken down by Neuropod, based on target teacher numbers and the ARPU for each segment. You know, $540 a year for ES Elementary, $900 for STEM, $1,140 for special ed. They do show conservative projections too, not just the aggressive ones.
What really jumps out in the source talks are the unit economics, especially that LTV.CAC ratio. They cite 42.1. That seems incredibly high.
It is extremely high. LTV is lifetime value. SAC is customer acquisition cost. You know, usually a healthy SaaS business looks for maybe 3.1 or better. 42.1, if that holds, is phenomenal. It suggests super efficient growth.
What drives that, according to them?
Primarily a very low customer acquisition cost, cited at just $45.
$45 to get a paying customer.
That's the claim, yeah. Driven largely by that strong organic and referral growth they mentioned.
Right.
Which leads to a really fast payback period, too. Just 1.1 months to recoup that $45 cost. And they report a high gross margin, 87%. So most subscription revenue drops down before operating costs. The LTV itself varies. Higher for the specialized pods like special ed, $3,990, compared to ES Elementary, like that $890, averaging out to $2,400.
Okay. And the funding, what are they raising now, and what's the plan to get to self-sufficiency?
Source says they're raising a $750K pre-seed round right now.
Okay.
Projected burn rate post-funding is $62K a month. That gives them about 12 months of runway, aiming for Series A milestones like 5,000 plus teachers and $50 in monthly recurring revenue, MRR.
And profitability.
Path outlined is cash flow positive by month 18, profitable by month 24.
Numbers and strategy are one thing, but investors always look at the team. Who's behind Bridge AI, according to the overview?
Introduces 2 founders, Poppet Seldrin, the CEO, and Angelica Nematic, head of product.
And the argument for why them. Why is this the right team based on the source?
Big emphasis on perfect founder market fit. Both were ESL teachers themselves. They lived the problem, experienced the burnout, the resource hunt firsthand. Wasn't just market research for them.
Okay, that's compelling.
Sources also mention their regional advantage, deep understanding of Southeast Asia where they're starting, plus a track record of building startups in Vietnam before.
So execution experience too.
Right, and complementary skills. Poppet on business, scaling, fundraising, Angelica on product, user experience, and that crucial domain expertise from teaching. The source paints them as driven by personal mission and a vision for impact.
Having felt the pain yourself is definitely a plus for investors. Okay, competition. Who are they up against, and what makes Bridge AI stand out, according to the source?
They list a few types. Existing resource platforms like Teachers Pay Teachers, ESL Library, general AI tools like ChatGPT, powerful, but not education-specific. Design tools like Canva Education, and local competitors in specific regions.
Right. So how do they differentiate? What's their claimed edge?
This loops back to their core strategy, the main claim, the multi-vertical platform itself. They state they're the only one mentioned designed to span multiple teacher segments with shared AI infrastructure.
So others might do ESL or elementary, but not have a platform built for both and more.
That's the assertion. And that scalable AI architecture, the 80% code reuse, is pitched as key. Faster, cheaper expansion into new verticals compared to building separate products.
Makes sense.
They also talk about network effects, building a community, planning collaboration features. The idea is the more teachers use it, maybe contribute content, the more valuable it gets for everyone, creates stickiness, switching
Right,
costs.
build a community, make it hard to leave.
Exactly. Other points. Deep domain expertise embedding that ESL pedagogy, TESOL methods into the AI. Proprietary data sets they're building, and they claim an advantage in focus and speed compared to big, slower education companies serving broader markets.
How do they sum up their position on price, performance, service?
They position as premium price, 42 ARPU, but justify it with much higher performance that claimed 10x faster lesson creation, high quality. And for service, offering a complete integrated solution versus fragmented tools.
You've covered a lot. Let's quickly touch on go-to-market, keeping customers, and the risks they acknowledge. How do they plan to reach teachers?
It's phased, like the product rollout. ESL, community building, partnerships. Elementary, aiming for viral growth in schools, maybe district deals later.
Wow.
STEM, conferences, safety partnerships, special ed. Highlighting compliance, going after enterprise or state contracts, different approaches for different segments.
And keeping them once they sign up, what makes the product sticky?
Several things mentioned. Product features like lesson history, personalization. Teachers invest time setting it up, those planned network effects from collaboration, and just continuously adding value with new features to keep people engaged.
Crucially, what risks do they identify? Investors need to see they've thought about downsides.
They break risks down by phase. Phase 1, ESL now. Low risk, they say, citing the waitlist, alpha traction. Phase 2, elementary. Medium risk depends heavily on hitting viral growth targets, getting whole teams on board in schools. Phases 3 and 4, STEM and special ed. High risk. Will teachers accept the higher price? Can they navigate complex enterprise state sales cycles? Those are the big questions there.
And how do they plan to manage these risks?
Mitigation strategies mentioned include conservative internal planning, building optionality to pivot if needed, and maintaining strong unit economics as a buffer, even if growth is slower than the aggressive plan.
Lastly, what do they want from investors besides the cash?
Network access is key. Intros to other edtech investors, strategic partners, board expertise, especially on scaling internationally, help teeing up the Series A round, and connections for tech partnerships or integrations.
Okay, we have really dug deep into this Bridge AI investor overview. We've surfaced those deep teacher pain points, the time drain, fragmented resources, burnout, explored their AI solution, starting with ESL, looked at that ambitious multi-vertical plan, the early traction signals, and those pretty eye-catching unit economics presented in the sources.
Yeah, the sources definitely hammer home the founder's firsthand experience as a key asset, and that strategic sequencing seems important, building a base in broad markets like ESL and elementary, then moving into those potentially higher value specialized niches like STEM and special ed.
So here's a final thought for you, our listener, based purely on this material we've walked through. The source details this multi-neuropod strategy, highlighting the very distinct needs in areas like STEMthink safety protocols and special education, with its complex compliance rules. They also stress the deep domain expertise needed for these. So considering that, how might those highly specific, maybe even legally mandated requirements in those later stage markets actually shape the AI in the product in ways that create much stronger, harder to replicate competitive advantages, deeper moats compared to the more general ESL or elementary markets? And what challenges does that imply for the team's technical and subject matter expertise as the platform has to evolve beyond that initial focus? Something to think about.